Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, look, this is home to me. I love it. I can look on out and I see my dad, Grandpa Don over here with Rosemary, my kids, and in-laws coming right along with the crew, and then my wife, Jean. And Jean, normally at this stage of the game, when I'm out in the middle of a campaign tour, she's back home and watching grandkids in many cases. We love that opportunity. Tonight I want to talk to you about something that's very special, and it's something that I think we can all agree on. You've heard the other candidates speak. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to find a whole lot of difference between all of us when it comes to the principles that we believe in. See, we all focus on what we truly believe is right about this country. And a lot of it has to do with those conservative Republican principles that we've all grown to expect. And we get frustrated when we don't see it happening across the rest of America. Take a look at where the challenge really is, and it's all about the election in November. We all recognize that. All of us are talking about that. Yes, we all are asking for your support. We're asking for your vote. What we're really asking you to do is to stay actively involved and to truly believe that we can make a difference in South Dakota that impacts the rest of our country. Come November, we get to make a decision here about whether or not we're going to follow those Republican principles that truly have been special in South Dakota, and that we have to get back to at the national level. There are people out there that don't believe in those principles. They believe in something different. There's a difference in the way they value life. There is a difference in the way they value those protections that are found under our Constitution and the amendments to our Constitution. If you take a look at what they've done in Washington, D.C. today, you can see in some cases the disrespect that's been provided for the vote of the people. You find in Washington, D.C. the challenges that impact our families, that impact our farms, that impact our businesses. You see businessmen and women that find very few of the dollars that would otherwise be part of the profit that's left to them. You find people in Washington, D.C. that are talking about raising taxes, spending more money, creating more government. It's time to stop. It's time to recognize that this is where we have to take a stand. $17 trillion in debt. Think about it this way. It's going on our kids' credit cards and our grandkids' credit cards, and it's got to stop, and now is the time. It starts in November. It starts with Republicans being united and in taking back the United States Senate. We start talking about the things that we would do different in Washington, D.C. What would happen if, as Republicans, we could step back in and we said, we're not going to deficit spend anymore. We've learned our lesson. What if, in Washington, D.C., we said, we're going to stop the bureaucracy, which today is controlling our lives. They tell us the EPA is out there, and the EPA knows better than we do about stewardship on the farms. We find a Corps of Engineers on a regular basis telling us that they're making the rules about the water that flows through. Ladies and gentlemen, it's wrong. We have to take back our country, and we do it with good, solid Republican principles. We do it by sending a little bit of good old South Dakota common sense to Washington, D.C., and a little bit less Washington, D.C. to South Dakota. What we start with is recognizing that conservatives in South Dakota, we balance our budget every single year. We live on low tax rates. If we're not the lowest tax, we're the second lowest, depending on whether or not you're a smoker. We don't believe in a bureaucracy. We believe in limited bureaucracy. We believe that families can make their own decisions when it comes to health care. My dad's here. My dad had his first open heart surgery when he was 49. I was a freshman in college. I take personal what they're trying to do with Obamacare. I take personally what they're trying to do with Medicare and putting together a 15-member panel to make decisions about how to cut Medicare. Dollars that then flow into Obamacare because they don't have the guts to tell you how much it's going to cost them and the rest of their programs that are there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get back to the basics. Balancing our budget, living within our means, and taking back our country from those individuals that truly believe that they know better than we do what's right for our families and our businesses and our country. South Dakota, we understand that profit is not a dirty word. In South Dakota, we understand that family is very important. Tonight, I just ask you, please, don't give up. Stand tall. Let's win the election in November, and let's take back our country. Thank you all very, very much.